Here is my intro theme, if I had one, but I don't.
Welcome back to MTV. This is Scrub Tier Saturdays.
Ooh.
Which is coming to you on a Sunday because, again, we suck at dates.
Yeah, well, more so the weather kind of screwed us this time, and we were not going to sit in this room in 45-degree heat.
No, it was pretty gross on Friday. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is a new episode that's dedicated entirely to M+. We'll go through some of the shenanigans of the guild, new things, interesting things, fail things, whatever happens.
Yeah, just a little quick catch-up on the world of M+ for Oceania.
Yeah. Now,
this week was the first week of Season 4?
yes.
Season 4, which meant you got your first foray into the new affix.
Yes.
The corruption affix. So, how does the corrupted affix work within M+?
Okay, so for those that haven't been following the news or maybe have been living under a rock, corruption or corrupted on the key means that there are 4 pillars that spawn within the dungeon. Mm-hmm. Each of these pillars has a boss attached to it. Mm-hmm. Sort of elite level mob range of difficulty. Each one has a unique ability that it'll do, and it summons adds. Mm-hmm. All of them have to be killed before you engage the last boss of the dungeon, or you will pull the mob that's attached to the pillar without its adds.
Right.
And then you'll be dealing with the boss and one of these pillar mobs. Not great.
No, not if they're elite level.
But the cool thing about them is that when you use these pillars, it transports you into the Twilight Realm, which means that you are effectively invisible to all mobs in the dungeon. You can't, as we discovered, interact with anything in the dungeon. So if you're in Toldagor, you can't walk through the gates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it phases you out completely, and wherever you kill the mob that was attached to that pillar, it drops a portal. The pillar becomes a portal, the dead mob becomes a portal. You can use that to zone in and out of the Twilight Realm.
Okay. So that essentially allows you to skip things that you wouldn't normally be able to skip.
Yeah, it's built-in skips. Everyone's been looking forward to it because it pretty much means that rogues aren't necessary.
Which is good, because we don't really have a rogue.
No.
No, in the guild, so...
No, well, we do have a couple of rogues, but one of them is currently on a healer and the other one is not available for everything, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, so our first foray in Corrupted was through the lens of King's Rest, our old friend, King's Rest 11.
Friend, nemesis, frenemy, yeah.
Yeah. We knew we weren't going to time it going in. It's purely an exploration mission, and there were a lot of dirt moments and a lot of learning moments. I'll just cycle through a couple of them.
Yes.
They called the minion.
Oh, that's going to bolster. God damn it.
Oh my
Get the
god.
witch doctor. We've been very good about our single target.
That says you.
What single target? I'm full AoE. Yeah.
Oh boy, the scarabs. They hurt.
They really hurt.
But, for that, it was actually pretty good fun. We ended up missing it by 8 minutes. But we did get to have a play with, okay, if we use the pillar here, we can move all the way through into the third boss's room and then come all the way back. And, oh, by the way, if you do that, it means that you still need to walk into the hallway to trigger the event so that the bridge opens. So don't go thinking that you can just skip into the third boss's room and then run back into the last boss's room. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
That was one of the gap moments?
No, that was just a discovery moment. That was like, oh, okay, it works like that.
It was the week of firsts, really. The first week of the season. You got to do things for the first time, which meant you got to go into Mechagon as an M+ for the first time.
Yep, new dungeon, who dis?
Yeah. So you did Lower Mecha?
Yep. First time that Mechagon's been available as a Mythic Plus. Everyone knew it was coming. Everybody took one look at Mechagon as a dungeon and went, there's one area that's very trash heavy and there's one area that's got more difficult bosses that, split it in half, same as they did with Karazhan. We expressed our thoughts on how this thing's going to play out on teaming or fortified weeks. we're not terribly impressed with the concept. It's pretty much just going to be toxic. Oh, look, it's teaming or bolstering. Let's just maybe not do that. But we were only doing it at an 8, so we didn't even get a chance to check out how the corrupted affix works with it. There's a 5-pack before the last boss, which is horrible, and we were doing it on bolstering, and it doesn't look like there's really any way of easily skipping it unless you're doing the corrupted affix. It's obviously been engineered around that. And there's also some stuff that'll just straight up one-shot you if you happen to get in the way of it. So, yeah.
Don't be
Don't
afraid of
get
him.
caught in that.
Right, cavalry has to die first.
Don't stand in the way of peacekeepers or There's a couple of mobs in there that'll just annihilate you. So don't be anywhere near them. Anyway, look, Mecha was actually pretty good fun. I still enjoy Mechagon as a dungeon myself, so I was pretty happy to go in there for any reason. And we have an upper Mecha key to try a little bit later on this week.
Oh,
so
awesome.
It'll be good to see both of them.
And for our final first for the week, it's your first TD since race changing to Mechagon.
Yes, which I did partly because Mechagon is class fantasy for me for ages, or race fantasy for me for ages, because gnomes for me have always been a mechanical race. And also partly because it was going to make TD a little bit easier and not relying on having Veratus available with his keys or anything like that. So we could just go in and do it. Turns out with the pylons, as I mentioned earlier, you can't actually unlock the doors when you're inside the Twilight Realm.
Oh, you can't interact with the gate.
So your Mecha Gnome is not actually any more useful than your regular gnome in TD.
But mechanically cooler.
Oh, way mechanically cooler.
And, fits with me being a mechanic.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that all works.
Yeah. Anyway, look, it was a alt and exploration run. Nobody really wanted to do TD, but we did it anyway because we looked at it and we're like, best of a bad bunch of keys, really, because our other option was Shrine 11.
Yeah.
Corrupted does change the route massively in Toldagor. Because you can now do all the skips that the MDI teams are doing anyway.
Okay.
You basically go in, round up the entire courtyard area,
Yep.
murder everything in there. You've got all the room in the world to do the first boss. Mm-hmm. There's a pillar right there after the first boss. You use that, skip up a level, just completely skip a whole bunch of trash. Murder everything on Jess's level because you have to for the boss fight anyway.
Yeah.
Go use the next pillar, skip everything on that level.
So what does that do to your trash percentages?
It's a bit harder to make trash percentage.
Yeah.
We actually had to do a lot of route planning to figure out, okay, what can we skip, what can't we skip. We ended up making a route that was 100%, and then somebody butt pulled, and so we ended up making up shit on the fly again.
It's going to be a really big pack. Somebody managed to pull the other shit too.
Oh god. Well, that's going to be a wipe.
Line of sight what you can.
Well, that's pretty much what you do
Yeah.
all the time.
We had pretty slow DPS because, as I said, it was mostly an alts run, so we didn't make the timer by a very, very long way. Along with a couple of wipes, and one particular wipe caused by stuff pulling from outside that shouldn't have been able to pull at that time. So, yeah, no.
So the usual.
The usual in Toldagor, really. Anyway, look, that was last week's efforts in Mythic Plus. Hopefully this show is going to be covering from Tuesday to Wednesday sort of thing, or Tuesday to Monday.
Well, no, from the previous Tuesday through Thursday.
We know what we're doing, alright?
Yeah, it's basically covering a reset cycle. So we'll be, when we film on a Friday, it'll be...
Our son has figured out what the microphone is for.
But on that note...
Yes. Look, anyway, special mention should go out to Vampy for trying to get online from Jakarta and coming along for a Motherload 10 that we did, even if she was offline for half of it, with repeated disconnects and spending an entire boss off.
That's not good.
Yeah. So we've actually been down a DPS.
Yes, the whole time. I'm just loading back in.
It would explain it.
And to Sakul, Fel, and Veratus for suffering through 2 Underrock keys that I dumped you with, even though it turns out all you really needed was a monk tank.
And that's how you do this boss, if you have a monk.
On that note, apologies for the little bit of a disjointed, crazy episode. The temperature here has got the little one a little bit loopy.
Yeah. More so than usual. Anyway, look, this has been MTV. I've been MT.
I'm the Violet Bombshell.
And this has been Scrub Tier Saturdays. And we will see you on the next Wednesday wrap-up.
Bye!